Yes, sir. So we back with another one. BigXThaPlug. His homie ZeeTheWizard. I think he got hit on accident, for real. At the they got into it with some people, but I think one of his homies, allegedly one of his homies, hit him while they was trying to buzz back. But yeah, BigXThaPlug, ZeeTheWizard. Let's see what's going on, bro. This a fallen member in Memphis, bro. I ain't gonna hold you.
The viral footage shows Big X the Plug allegedly shooting his homie ZeeTheWizard in his head at a Dallas club on New Year's Day 2026.
They walk up to him. Whatever they asked him, ZeeTheWizard stole off one of them. Next thing you know, they start fighting. Dude that was with the suspect, he pulled out a blick, started shooting at the whole club.
ZeeTheWizard, who had just got put on by Future's Free Bands label, was left fighting for his life after shooters lit up the Pink House Dallas and hit 5 people. Let's break down exactly what happened and why this footage been running up numbers all over the internet. The night everything went left, the Pink House Dallas was having its grand opening on New Year's Eve 2025. The spot, an after-hours joint near Empire Central and North Stemmons Freeway, had lined up local talent for what was supposed to be a lit celebration. Two of the biggest names pulling up that night were BigXThaPlug and ZeeTheWizard. BigXThaPlug, government name Xavier Landum, had been putting in work for the past 2 years, building himself into one of the coldest names in Texas rap. His track Texas went gold. Stacked up over 330 million streams. By late 2025, he had been linking up with country artists like Luke Combs, Jelly Roll, and Bailey Zimmerman, dropping an album called I Hope You're Happy that mixed that southern trap sound with Nashville vibes. Homie was, by any measure, the hottest rapper to come out the D in years. ZeeTheWizard, born Zechary Cannon Grant Fields, was 25 years old. He came up in Oak Cliff, a neighborhood in South Dallas where cats had to stay on point. His path to music came after a sports injury shut down his athletic dreams. He started dropping tracks in late 2024, putting out projects like Hood Prophet and bangers like Boss Nah, 4 for 4, and Chevy. His whole style was about that motivational wave, grinding, surviving, stacking bread from nothing. By summer 2025, the Dallas Observer had named him among the top 20 rappers to watch in the DFW. In August 2025, ZeeTheWizard signed to Future's Free Bands label. That was the type of bag that meant he was about to go from hood famous to mainstream. He had already got co-signs from cats like G Herbo and Rod Wave. MO3's manager Rainwater called him incredibly talented with the potential to take over the whole streets. Both these rappers were running with what folks in Dallas called the New Dallas movement. This was a squad of young artists who had linked up with one mission, promoting unity instead of that beef energy. The movement had names like Zillionaire Doe, Montana 700, and Himothy Chung. These were trappers from different hoods, some of which had static with each other going way back.
Yo, hold on 1 second. I want to take a minute to show y'all my merchandise. If you see anything you like, go ahead and get you some. You'll be out there looking fly, looking fresh. I'm going to leave a link in the description. Thank you.
Wiz one of the ones. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get to talk. My nigga Wiz one of the ones. One of the ones. Versatile.
The whole point of New Dallas was simple. Instead of sliding on each other, these rappers would hold each other down. They would pull up to each other's shows, push each other's music, and move as one unit. It was a direct response to what had happened to the OGs of Dallas rap, which had been ripped apart by that street drama. MO3 got hit in 2020. Yella Beezy was catching murder charges connected to MO3's body. The whole scene had been split.
It's really love between these crews. We're really trying to do something new and positive with this new generation.
On New Year's Eve, ZeeTheWizard was booked to hit the stage at Pink House Dallas for the grand opening. According to his people, he performed right before midnight and rocked a crowd that had his own family in the building. After he finished his set, his family dipped. ZeeTheWizard stayed behind to keep turning up with BigXThaPlug and the rest of the homies. The energy in that club was straight vibes. Footage from earlier that night showed both rappers getting active.
As you can see, the caption says BigXThaPlug and ZeeTheWizard in Dallas for New Year.
ZeeTheWizard was making it rain in that joint, throwing stacks at the dancers. BigXThaPlug had a section locked down with bottles. Shorties were twerking. It was, by all accounts, a movie.
You can see, you know, it seemed like a celebratory mood in the...
Then, around 3:45 a.m. on January 1st, 2026, everything went sideways. Dallas police got calls about shots fired in the parking lot. When the boys showed up, the scene was already cleared out, but they found evidence that somebody had been bussin'. 5 people caught bullets. One was in critical condition. That was ZeeTheWizard. According to family members who later chopped it up with WFAA, ZeeTheWizard had been hit multiple times. Word was he caught one to the dome. He got rushed to the hospital, where doctors immediately put him in critical condition. The footage that would blow up all over the net was captured in those moments right after the shooting. It showed BigXThePlug outside the club, trying to process what just happened to his mans.
So as you heard him say, he said they shot Z in the head. What the F?
That clip spread across social media in hours. You could see BigXThePlug in an orange jacket, leaning against a whip in that pink-lit parking lot. You could hear him say what everybody would replay a million times. They shot Z in the head.
That was him on the floor?
I think the last thing you hear him say is that was him.
BigXThePlug ain't catch no bullets, but his reaction, the shock, the disbelief, that moment when you realize somebody just smoked your homie, became the image that defined the whole story as it went viral. The cap spreading and the family stepping up. Within hours of the shooting, a whole different type of chaos jumped off. Folks on social media started posting that ZeeTheWizard was gone. The cap spread fast as hell, running way ahead of any official word from the laws or the hospital. By the morning of January 1st, 2026, RIP posts and tributes were flooding X, Instagram, and TikTok. Hella people were mourning somebody who was, at that moment, still breathing. The misinformation moved the way it always moves. Somebody dropped an unverified claim. Others ran with it without fact-checking nothing. Blog sites and hip-hop pages grabbed the posts and pushed stories based on Twitter fingers instead of real information. The result was a whole wave of false reports that ZeeTheWizard's family had to fight against while they were already dealing with the reality that their people was on life support. Montana 700, one of ZeeTheWizard's day ones and another member of the new Dallas squad, was one of the first cats to call out the bogus reports. He hit his story thanking folks for the love while setting the record straight.
Thank you to everyone. We appreciate you all the love y'all got for Z. There has been misinformation floating around. As of now, Z is still fighting, praying that he bounces back and on full recovery.
The message was crystal. ZeeTheWizard ain't dead. He was on life support, fighting for his life. But the damage from all that early cap had already been done. Mad people who saw the first posts about him dying never saw the corrections. By January 3rd, 2026, WFAA confirmed that ZeeTheWizard was still in the hospital on life support. The family had talked directly to reporters.
Okay, bro. So
Sir.
can't fold.
Now, today, we gonna talk about Dallas rapper ZeeTheWizard. Now, he was shot outside a Dallas club on New Year's Day, right? With quotations on New Year's. Because we know that the real New Year's isn't until spring, right? But we understand that January comes from Janus, right? Which is said to be a Greek god, right? So these are Greek gods that they are worshiping and ritual sacrificing to on this false New Year, right? To give praise to these false gods and these false entities, right? So it's always a sacrifice that has to occur either on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. It's always some type of ritual that has to occur, right?
All crazy.
So with that being said, man, ZeeTheWizard, right, was celebrating 2026 with BigXThePlug at the grand opening of local strip club Pink House Dallas Lab on Thursday, January 1st, when tragedy struck.
We're looking at it.
He was
from
one
a
of 4
different
victims
angle
who was
right now.
injured in a shooting at the establishment, to which police reportedly responded at around 3:45 a.m. The Texas MC has signed to Future's Free Bands record label. So those are our 2 links, right, that we have in this situation. 2 individuals that's at this point deep in the industry that he was connected to, right? So let's look at these 2 individuals for a second, because it's very interesting that BigXThePlug had actually performed on New Year's Eve.
Ooh.
Worldwide, nationwide. Yeah, he done officially crossed over. And then you see that little vortex. You see that little vortex portal type of thing, that little Travis Scott type of thing, that see you on the other side type of thing, right? So we see him performing on New Year's Eve. alongside names like 50 Cent, Chance the Rapper, Busta Rhymes, Demi Lovato, Pitbull, K-pop, and BigXThaPlug is among these names that get to perform on quote-unquote New Year's Eve. So now we see what has to come with that, right? Now, if we talk about the day that this artist was shot, now they're saying that he remains on life support, right? So this might be just a rebirth ritual for that artist, right? A rebirth ritual that he has to go through, right? He has to come near death to become reborn. Now, this happened 323 days after his boss, after his boss's birthday, right? Because that's who he signed to. He signed to Future. As you can see, Future being 42 years old. We're going to talk about that later, right? But 323 as Lucifer equals 323 in the Latin cipher. So that is who they are tributing these rituals to. These false gods, which all in all leads you to Lucifer at the end of the day, right? But come on. Because it was also 234 days, right? It was also 234 days after BigXThaPlug's birthday. And that's who he was with that night, right? This is his friend. When Mark of the Beast equals 234.
Now you see why, you know what I'm saying?
Even if we include that end date. Man. This shooting occurred, this ritual occurred, and these other people got shot too. Keep in mind, there's some other people that got shot that they saying. Now, we don't know, we wasn't there. We just going by what they telling us, right? That this occurred on the 235th day of BigXThaPlug's age, when the Society of Jesus equals 235. So now we see the parallel of who the Jesuits are really worshiping. This false Jesus, right? That they created. Everything they're doing is a Jesuit ritual. You have to understand that the Society of Jesus is no different than the Church of Satan. They're hiding. They're using these names to hide. They're using the name of Jesus to hide, right? But come on, right? Because even the day, and I'm sure they made another post by now, but at the time that the shooting occurred, on Pink House Dallas Instagram page, they happen to have 201 posts, right? This is the club that the shooting occurred at. And they're following 4 people. As they said, 4 people got shot.
See what I'm talking about?
Right, the number for death.
You see what I'm talking about? Y'all do y'all own research, bro. I just wanted y'all to see the BigXThaPlug situation. All the numbers that was popping up if you was paying attention to the video back then. Pink House, this, and how everything connect, how my boy be breaking shit down with situations. So, like, what's really going on out here, bro? You know what I'm saying? I can't explain it no further. I can just show you. It's hard, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get it. I'm going for